Imagine if we suddenly discovered an ancient forgotten city lying thousands of feet below the ocean surface. A city that could change everything we know about human history. What if I told you that may have actually happened? But here's the strange part. After the discovery, everything went silent. No follow-ups, no headlines. Just silence. Why? Today we're diving deep, literally and figuratively, into one of the greatest mysteries hidden beneath the waves. The story of the underwater city near Cuba that nobody talks about anymore. Buckle up. Let's rewind to the early 2000s. In 2001, off the western coast of Cuba, something extraordinary was found. Two respected researchers, Paulina Zelitzky, a marine engineer, and her husband, Paul Weinsweig, were hired to explore the deep waters near Cuba. Their mission was pretty standard. Find old Spanish shipwrecks, possibly filled with treasure, and map out underwater resources like oil and gas. But what they stumbled upon was something entirely unexpected. Using advanced sonar technology, they began scanning the seabed more than 2,000 feet beneath the surface. Sonar, for those who don't know, works like underwater echolocation. It sends out sound waves that bounce off objects, helping build a sound picture of what's down there. At first, everything seemed normal, but then they started picking up something odd. Huge geometric shapes, rectangles, perfectly straight lines, massive stone blocks that looked like they had been placed there, not just randomly scattered by nature. Zelitzky described it as if they had discovered the underwater version of ancient pyramids. And it wasn't just one or two stones. It looked like an entire urban layout, corridors, building outlines, even pyramid-like structures. Was this Atlantis? Did they just find the real lost city? Not content with just sonar images, the team took the next logical step. They sent down a remotely operated vehicle, ROV, basically an underwater robot equipped with cameras. And what they saw through the blurry feed was enough to stop anyone in their tracks. Large, smooth blocks of stone, 8 feet by 10 feet, some circular, some angular, stacked together in ways that screamed human engineering. These weren't just random rocks on the ocean floor. There were clear outlines of structures that looked like roads or buildings. Paulina and her team estimated that this city, if it was indeed a city, would be at least 6,000 years old. That's older than the Great Pyramids of Giza, older than Machu Picchu, older than the oldest known civilizations in the Americas, including the ancient Olmecs and Maya. But how did it get down there? This is where things get complicated. First, skeptics pointed to geology. Couldn't these be just natural rock formations? After all, underwater landscapes can do strange things under millions of years of pressure and movement. Some scientists suggested that what Zelitzky's sonar picked up was likely limestone formations, not granite, shaped by natural processes. And then there's the depth, over 2,000 feet. Compare that to Heracleion, an ancient Egyptian port city that sank only 19 feet underwater. How does an entire urban complex end up that deep? Zelitzky had a theory, a massive, catastrophic earthquake. According to her research, there may have once been a land bridge between Cuba and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. A huge seismic event could have caused that land to sink, dragging an entire civilization down with it in a matter of hours or days. But even that theory didn't convince many experts. Why? Because for a city to be that deep today, it likely would have needed to sink over 50,000 years ago, long before we have any evidence of advanced human civilizations. So, what's going on here? Here's where things start to feel eerie. After that initial discovery, headlines were buzzing. Atlantis found in the Caribbean. News stations from around the world jumped on the story. And then nothing. The exploration stopped. Funding dried up. No follow-up expeditions. No detailed scientific papers. The footage from the ROV was never released in full to the public. It's like someone hit a giant pause button on the whole investigation. Some conspiracy theorists argue that governments or private organizations may have stepped in to suppress the story. Why? Maybe they didn't want the world to discover proof of an ancient civilization that predates everything we know. Or maybe it's simpler. Maybe it was just a matter of money, logistics, and skeptical scientists who didn't think it was worth pursuing. After all, Ocean exploration is insanely expensive, and if mainstream academia wasn't on board, raising funds would have been next to impossible. But still, the silence around this discovery is deafening. So what's the truth? Did Paulina Zelitzky and her team discover the lost Atlantis? Or was it simply a case of misinterpreted sonar readings combined with wishful thinking? Right now, the underwater formations off the coast of Cuba remain one of the greatest unexplored mysteries of our time. We don't know if it's an ancient city, a natural formation, or something else entirely. What we do know is that mysteries like this remind us of how much of our own planet is still unknown. Remember, 80% of Earth's oceans are still completely unexplored. Who knows what other secrets are waiting down there? If this story sparked your curiosity, hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you love diving into real-life mysteries like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. More deep, thought-provoking stories are on the way.